Welcome, everyone. We're presenting Youngn versus Young again. My name is Dante, and I want to introduce my co-host, Patrick.
My name is Patrick. They also call me Hamza, and I'm a part of 100 Years, and we're going to be talking about the topic Youngin versus Young again.
Yes. Absolutely. Youngin versus Young again. And we're back with 100 Years Enterprise. And our co-host, Dante, he will present his special subject. And he has something real good for us.
And that is, how do you view yourself as a teenager? And the reason why I picked that subject, because I reflect back on how I viewed myself growing up as a teenager in the streets of Richmond. And a lot of us, as teens, we view ourselves as different factors, meaning that we still struggling to find our identity. So we view ourselves as being a pimp, a player, a hustler, or being a thug, being a drug dealer. And for me, I thought I was a drug dealer. I thought I was a pimp. I thought I was a con popper, a hustler, a Mac. So all these different fashions that I thought I was led me into a life of crime. And that's the same thing that we're seeing today, with the teenagers, in our society, taking on these different characters that they truly not. Instead of finding their own identity, they finding somebody else's identity and they ain't living up to their true potential, who they truly are. And so this is why I picked that subject, how you view yourself as a teenager, because viewing yourself the wrong way, guess what? Can lead you into a life of crime, can lead you to make early death decisions, which can cause us to go to the graveyards, which can cause us to go to juvenile hall, which could eventually lead us to prison. Because guess what? That's what it led me. Juvenile hall, prison, and now back into society, But it was a process. So today, I'm here, we here, Patrick, Lejon, is to shed light on how we viewed ourselves growing up as a teenager, because if we would have looked at ourselves in a different fashion, a different light, guess what? We probably wouldn't have to go through the things that we went through in order to get to where we at today. So it's important to reflect back on the things that we did and struggling to find, our identity. So I want to continue, to elaborate on this subject. And if you can share some light on how you viewed yourself as a teenager, Patrick, or even Lil John, which one you want to go first?
Most definitely. I mean, my situation is how I view myself as a teenager was really in the views of others. I went through a character defect because in my mind, right, I seen myself in the eyes of Hillbilly. I looked up to him, you know what I mean, as somebody that I wanted to become or emulate. So I had no identity in that regard as a teenager, because once I got into that criminal element and I started doing nefarious things such as selling drugs, being a player, popcorn, all the things that it tells in the neighborhood, to be seen as somebody that to be feared, loved, respected, admired, right? That was all through the context of the eyes of how I looked at that guy. You know what I mean? And so if and it was so deep, if he would have pulled me to the side and told me, look, this ain't the life for you, man, get into what you've been doing, I would have did that. Mm-hmm. Because he impacted my life in terms of as a young teenager, going to tech, seeing how him pulling up in the Benz. He had all white 500 drop Benz. When I was 14, I'm looking at it like, man, he had a brown one. So I was amazed at him at me at a young age and him at a young adult, because he was only like 22, 23, right? That's fairly young. Yeah. Seeing the impact of him having two Benzes, you know what I mean? And walking around, and everybody, when he drive by, you see all the women looking at him. Until he turned the corner. Then they back to normal. So I was like to myself, man, that's how I want to be. I want to have that type of impression without even saying that to nobody. You know what I mean? I want to have that kind of impression on people. So how I view myself as a teenager, man, was really vulnerable, right? Susceptible to anything that gave me a sense of like a being, When I had was able to get me a Cougar, 6'9" Cougar, right? I had to put it in the paint shop because now I couldn't just drive it with,
Paint shop got you some
Yeah,
beats.
so now I'm like, I got to hustle even harder.
Yeah.
So that's how I got stooped into the criminal life because, me seeing myself as a teacher, man, I'm on. You know what I mean? I'm on. I mean, I need to get this paint job going so I can ride around and be partially on this level, just having me something on my own. So, the solution for me, the way I'm looking at it is that, admire who you are because God created us all with a gift.
Right.
And we get to find out what that gift is. We can't have our gift in others, meaning that others can help us get there. But my gift and his gift is different. Meaning that I can't emulate everything he do.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And he even pulled me to the side and told me a few times, like, every outfit I got on, you trying to have the same outfit on. You know what I mean? You're burning your money because you're not on the same level. You're not even on the same level that I'm on, and I thought about that for a minute.
Yeah.
And I said, damn, man, I'm so into this dude, man, that I even spend my money to look like him, to dress like him.
Yeah.
So I suffer from identity crisis for sure. So, I will part that on the youth, man. Love yourself, man, because you may be looking at somebody who presumed to be in the moment up, but really he's on his way down.
I mean, but that's the thing, though. When you say love yourself, I mean, for me, speaking about me, for growing up, how do you love yourself if you don't know what love is about?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was faced with. Love didn't come into play until I did all the stuff that I did, wound up in prison, had to self-reflect. That's when love came,
Right.
in effect. So we do trying to tell a teenager, well, hey, love yourself. How do we love ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, so what steps do we take?
Yeah, that's deep. Yeah. How you view yourself. As I view myself as a 17, 16, 15-year-old person I was at the age I am now at 51. So I constantly reflect, look back into my old self. 14, 15, 16, 17 years old. I remember Malcolm X always make that statement. I always think about it. Statement, deaf, dumb, and blind. I was deaf, dumb, and blind to the things that were supposed to nourish me. That was supposed to create stability in my life instead of instability. The things were supposed to create more fiber, more courage in me from a teenager becoming to a young adult. And so when I look back at my old self, how I went astray, right? And one of the main components of going astray, as we always expound on, we will continue to, was the addictive, fast life or the addictive street life. It was very addictive. I didn't know I was addictive or addicted to a criminal lifestyle because I was so much in the fog. I couldn't see what I was addicted to because then we thought addiction was just, you just strung out on drugs per se. But I was addicted to the glamour and glow of hustling. I was addicted to the glamour and glow of having some money, having a girl with a name, because I wanted a name, but she probably wasn't really nobody. Everybody that had her. We see that even today. I can look back, I might want her or saw her and say, man, everybody didn't have her, she didn't ran through. So it's nothing now. So now it becomes my mature self still looking back. And I was so lost and engrossed in the fog. I couldn't even see myself, even though I was playing sports, even though I was still going to school, but I started cutting school. And that lifestyle was so addictive that I love the addiction. I love the gratification that it brought to me. And one of the gratifications that it brought to me, sad to say, here I am, a 16-year-old kid, end up snorting cocaine. But the feeling and the false sense of strength that it gave me was something like, wow. You know, and then you get the drain, you know how it goes, and then you want it again, right? And so I look back like, wow. My old self, I was very damaged. I was very damaged and didn't know how damaged I was. My family didn't even know I was damaged. Yeah. And they would just see Lejon selling drugs, she's going to school. But that's it. Why are you doing what you're doing? Stop doing what you're doing. You should do this because this is gonna happen. And that created a more, which we're gonna go into, neglecting upbringing. And so for the kids of today, for the youth of today, and for the parents, and just society as a whole, it's paramount that we identify any and everything what can offset our natural disposition as who we are as human beings, so we won't have to wait 30 to 40 years down the line and look back ourselves to try to find our true essence and give it to others. But at the same token, it's a blessing that we are able to give back, to look back at our old selves. And when we see teenagers walking up down the street or going whatever they're going through, we can identify with it. We won't look down on them because we know, hey, that was me once upon a time, selling them drugs, shooting or doing this and doing that. Now I have a way to connect with them versus those who have not even experienced it, who will look at them, they can't even talk to the kids, talk to them because they don't even know how. And so I want to just, share that part as we go.
Yeah, that's powerful expression. Like I said, when I just, sit back and I view my whole life, especially my teenage life, it was just a destructive behavior, a pattern, and if I'd have had somebody saying, hey, Dante, man, you race motorcycles, man, push that, follow your dream. I didn't have nobody, that was my identity right there. I didn't have nobody like that. I'm, like I said, Charlie Bird wasn't saying, boy, go to school, boy, he wasn't saying that, you the pimp.
Right.
So these were my identity, that I thought that I had. And so we still see the same thing today. So being that we can reflect back and see where we failed at, look back at ourselves, look back at our lives as far as teenagers, and we didn't have anybody in the place, just like Hillbilly. If he would have been saying, boy, go to school, you probably would have went a different direction. But being that we didn't have it, but guess what? It's our responsibility now that we know.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's time for us to pass it on to those coming behind us and those that's already out there. Man, this is what we need to do. When we see teenage kids, man, what you want to be in life?
Absolutely.
What is your goals in life? Other than sell dope, other than carry a pistol. But we didn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
We had the opposite. Glorifying, boy, yeah, come on, boys, let's go buy this, let's go do this, go get some drugs, let's go snort some powder.
Right.
So we had the opposite. So now it's like, okay, I know we have to go through different things in life to get to a certain point.
Right.
But it's like, but do all the youngsters got to go through what we went through?
They shouldn't have to.
No, they shouldn't. So that's why I say it falls upon us, and those before us and those behind us to, hey, when we see a teenager, man, just get at it.
Yeah.
Just like when we had the Zoom meeting
right.
Fridays ago. It's our responsibility now to reach out. Even if it's not your kid, it's still our responsibility.
Exactly.
Give him something. Give him some wise and kind words.
And that's all you're looking for, words of encouragement. Because that'll go a long way. Just for instance, the time when you were talking to Maceo.
Yeah.
You came out there and he needed the encouraging words which you gave him, right? A couple weeks after that, I mentioned you. He said, I like that guy. I like the things he was saying to me. And you never know what the kids are searching for until you talk to them, or talk with them. Because he's someone, who shut down for many different reasons. But to be able to have those who will talk with him and will just sit down and just listen and encourage them to do good things, the children will open up because now we have created a bond and a trust. So once you create that bond and a trust and they feel the love and you won't turn it against them, whatever they tell you, then it will help them, their household, but the community as a whole. And that's what we got to, are you saying, continue to tell those in our age group, above, below, to, hey, let's keep doing what we can to render this service to those who we once were, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old.
And I'll just add one thing that I want to be clear with the youth as you view yourself as a teenager. Make sure that you be careful who you try, who's impressionable on you.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You know what I mean? Like I said, people didn't know how much he impacted me. I never conveyed. I just, I admired him. I thought what he had was the winning formula. You know what I mean? So I tried to pattern myself to that. So, that's on my bad too, because my mind won't formulate to make the sound decisions.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I will impart on the youth, how you view yourself as a teenager today. Be careful who you consider, you look up to, or someone who's impressionable on you. I'm not saying just stare down they walk, but make sure that they have your best interest at heart and in a positive way.
Absolutely.
Ask for the positive instead of the negative. We know we got into it, man. How can I get money like that?
Yeah.
Well, I need to get a car like that. I'll do anything. We look at it from the negative instead of saying, how can I earn the right to have that later on down the line? So that's what I would, impart on the youth in terms of how you view yourself as a teenager.
And just know that, like the choices that we make, you got the good and you got the bad.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that, even the choices that we make for friends.
Yes.
So if we see somebody, like I said, for me, I seen, these dudes do, and I wanted to be their friend. So I couldn't see the dude that had the backpack on, the square dude, going to school.
Right.
I couldn't see that. So we have to also be careful in the choices that we make, for us, who we want us to be our friends.
Mm-hmm.
Because if some of these dudes would have said, Dante, man, go to school, don't be out here in the streets, don't be out here selling dope, don't be doing this. Guess what? It's a good chance that my life would have went in a different direction. So this is a good topic on how we view ourselves as a teenager, because I know for a fact that a lot of these youngsters out here, they view themselves as these different other factions of other people, other characters that we seen. We just look out in the streets today, see what dudes are doing. And a lot of these, even some of the rappers.
Oh my God.
So we got a real long, hard journey, to fight, but it can be done. So we wanna reflect on ourselves first, how we viewed ourselves, and then how can we correct? What can we do to correct the way we viewed ourselves? What do we could do to correct the ones that's out there that's viewing themselves the way that we did?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we need, to figure out is, how can we do that?
We
have the tools.
Right. It's being done by the services. What we're doing by giving correct and sincere advice, based on our experiences and the things we went through. And just to, again, to let the youth know, let the world know, let the people know that please listen to your right intuition. listen to your heart. Listen to your gut, because it's going to tell you and it's going to lead you that way that you need to go down that positive path. And listen to our parents who are telling you the right things, no matter if you want to hear it or not. Listen to your parents. Listen to your teachers if they tell you the right thing. Listen to those who are telling you the right thing, whether you want to hear it or not. Just listen to it. Take something from it. Stay in school. Stay getting your education.
Yeah.
Stay learning.
Right.
Stay positive. Stay humble. And stay smiling. And stay being who you are. And please go to our website at Listen Up 100years.biz and continue to grow and to stay humble.
And also, too, we want to conclude with the fact that, you know, when you do listen, go to our website, listen up to it, we provide consultation to further, because you may have questions beyond the podcast. Absolutely. To elaborate on how you view yourself, how you view yourself as a teenager. Let's have a discussion on that and figure out, you know what I mean, as we was a teen to those compared to the teens now, younger versus young again. Because if we was young again, we would steal these tools in ourselves so we can grow and go on a positive path and never ended up what we did. So I think that's the most beautiful thing, that you can leave. Like, again, check out 100years.biz consultations. You know what I mean? We have a website that we give consultations for an hour. And, you know, and we talk about all the things that deals with the impact of youth and returning citizens.
So tune in to our next episode, 100 Years in a Pride. Don't miss it.